Sideshow Bert, Blonde Carrot Top, Timu Carrot Top, Shit Show Bert, the kicker, the idiot kicker, Bert Austin, Scholarship Bert, Bert Orange Auburn, Ernie and Bert Kreischer, Bert Reynolds, Bert Auburn, whatever you call him. Texas has a kicker problem. And it's not just a kicker problem. Texas has a special teams problem. What's up, guys and gals? Welcome in to another edition of the BK Show right here on YouTube. I'm your host, BK Brad Kellner. Hope everyone is having a fantastic start to 2025. Please like this video. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. You see the title of this video. You heard what I just said. Texas has a special teams problem, and it might cost the Longhorns a national championship. And this isn't new. If you've been following this team all season long, you know that this has been a problem all season long. How bad has it been? According to ESPN's S&P Plus rankings, Texas's special teams rank 120th in the country out of 134 teams. This is a bottom 15 special teams unit in America. Oh, by the way, it was 117th before the Peach Bowl. And despite Texas having a punt return touchdown and a blocked field goal in that win over Arizona State, the Longhorns dropped 3 spots because of how many mistakes they had in that game. And for those who don't know, ESPN describes S&P Plus as a tempo and opponent adjusted measure of college football efficiency. So that's one of their new age analytical measures to determine how good teams are. And this is not an anti-Texas metric at all. The Longhorns ranked number 4th overall in S&P Plus. They're number 2 on defense. They're number 9 on offense. So despite all of the special teams problems the Longhorns have had, they still are a top 5 team in this ranking. But obviously, special teams continues to be an issue for this Texas football team. And go back to that aforementioned Peach Bowl. 2 missed field goals by Bert Auburn at the end of the fourth quarter nearly cost Texas. The running into the punter penalty on the first drive of the game kept Arizona State's offense on the field. They ended up kicking a field goal on that drive. And Texas's defense had trouble getting off the field in that game. They were on the field for 97 plays. Part of that had to do with the special teams problem. Of course, Texas gave up a 32-yard fake punt, right? A 32-yard pass to a defensive tackle. It's the second time in the last 3 games that somebody has successfully executed a fake punt against Texas. There was also a holding penalty on a pretty good Silas Bolden run back that hurt Texas in that game on New Year's Day. It was a problem against Arizona State. It nearly cost the Longhorns against Arizona State. And again, this has been something that has not been cleaned up at all this season. And Jeff Banks, this is weird because Jeff Banks has been a great special teams coach at Texas. The Longhorns had top 5 special teams units in America in each of the last 2 seasons, right? Even the 8-5 year 2 of the Sark era, Texas was one of the best special teams groups in America. And obviously last year, Texas winning the Big 12, making it to the college football playoff. They were elite on special teams. And Bert Auburn was a big part of that. This guy set a Big 12 record for most consecutive field goals made just a season ago. And this guy was preseason all first team SEC as a kicker. He was great last year. He was really good 2 years ago. But it has been an issue for Bert Auburn all season long. He's now 16 of 25 on the year. That's 64%. And no, I don't think D's get degrees in this. He's missed 1 field goal in 4 of the last 5 games. He's missed at least 1 field goal in 5 of the last 7 games. He is 6 of 14 from 40 yards or more. 6 of 14. Probably should have spent some time doing the math on that. All I know is that that's less than 50%, and that's not good. And the one saving grace that Bert Auburn had going into the Arizona State game was he was perfect inside of 40 yards. Hadn't missed inside of 40 all season long. So as bad as he was from beyond 40, it's like, well, at least when you get inside 40, you can count on Bert Auburn to get the job done. Not so fast, my friend, in the words of Lee Corso. Of course, the 38-yarder at the end of regulation doinked off the left upright and forced Texas to have to play overtimes, plural, to beat Arizona State. Bert Auburn, 64%, by the way. That ranks 117th in the country amongst qualified field goal kickers. Once again, only 134 teams in America. Not good for the Longhorns. And once again, it's not just Bert Auburn, right? Michael Kern, the punter for Texas, averaging just 41.2 yards per punt. That's tied for 101st in the nation. The average punting distance is 42.9 yards. That's the average number all across college football, not just Power 4. That's, everybody in FBS Division 1. And once again, Michael Kern, 41.2 yards per punt, tied for 101st in the country. By the way, Jack Bomeister, the transfer portal punter that the Longhorns added, 44.7 yards per punt. So he's an above average punter, but unfortunately, he can't play in this game on Friday. And if Texas beats Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl on Friday, he won't be able to participate in the national championship as well. You look at kickoff returns. Texas 61st in the country in kickoff returns. And kickoff returns not a huge stat that people look at nowadays because there are so many touchbacks in today's level of football. But still, that hasn't been a strength for Texas. Now, there's no Silas Bolden hate on this channel. I am a big Silas Bolden fan. Sometimes he gives people heart attacks by the way he handles the football back there, but he has been solid for Texas. He's caught the ball just about every single time. Obviously, he had the punt return touchdown against Arizona State, which proved to be a very, very important score in that football game. So the punt return game has been solid, but pretty much every other aspect, I should give Lance St. Louis some love. He's the long snapper. That guy's been fine. But every other aspect of the Texas special teams has been bad this season. And when you get to the college football playoff and you play these close games, every single point matters. Hell, Bert Auburn's misses cost Texas an SEC championship, right? Longhorns lost that game in overtime. Bert Auburn missed a couple of field goals. And 6 points could have been the difference right there. Almost cost Texas in the Peach Bowl. So you're playing great teams. These are games that are going to be decided by one score. I mean, Ohio State's favored against Texas. I know not a lot of people are giving the Longhorns much of a chance in this game, but still, it's a one-score line. It's a 6-point line right now, which means every point is going to be critical, and you can't leave points on the board, right? Fourth down decisions are always psychoanalyzed by football fans everywhere. And obviously, Texas fans are no different. But you can't tell a coach to take the points when your kicker can't make the field goals. There's no points to take. So, what can Texas do before Ohio State? Can they do anything before Friday? I don't know, guys. I mean, considering we're at this point in the year, the Horns are about to play their 16th game, and this is still a massive issue. By the way, Arizona State ranked 131st in special teams on that S&P Plus metric that we talked about earlier. So I was thinking, all right, even though the Longhorns aren't good on special teams, they're at least better than Arizona State, and they'll at least win the special teams matchup against the Sun Devils. No, that was not the case at all. So it's a bad problem that is getting worse at the wrong time for the Horns. Starting with the kicker, can they change the kicker? I don't know. Probably not. I mean, you do have 3 other kickers on the roster. Everybody knows the name Will Stone. He's the kickoff specialist. He's done a phenomenal job at that all season long. And after the Georgia game, the second Georgia game, once again, Bert Auburn misses a couple of field goals there. Will Stone posted some practice videos on his Instagram of him just burying field goals. Now, no defense, no game situation. There wasn't even a holder, right? He just had the ball on a tee and he was banging in field goals from all over the field. Looked pretty good. I'm sure Bert Auburn can do the same thing. I'm sure a lot of kickers around the country can look good on social media. But, a lot of Texas fans have been clamoring for Will Stone or somebody else in the kicking game. The problem with Will Stone is he's a lefty, and that affects things. That affects the whole operation, right? The holder's on the opposite side. You got a different hand you use to hold the football. You've got a different angle that you've got to tilt the football for Will Stone. Like, I don't know. As crazy as this sounds, I don't know if Texas has a holder for a left-footed kicker. I'd like to think that's something that they've worked on in practice, right? If Bert Auburn got hurt, I would think Will Stone would be your field goal and extra point kicker. So hopefully they've at least got some sort of plan if that were to happen. But is that too big of a risk to take right now? You're impacting the entire operation from the long snapper to the holder and obviously to the kicker if you make a move like that. Look, Will Stone was a beast in high school, all state, all district. He was a 5-star. So he might be a great kicker, but I wouldn't expect a change to be made. By the way, the two other kickers, you got Spencer Barnett, who's a freshman from Westlake. I don't think Sark's going to go to a freshman right now. And you've got Charlie Ferris, who's a junior from Houston. Was good at high school, but he's never appeared in a game for the Longhorns. Two-time commissioner's honor roll guy, though. I did see that. Good student. Tip the cap, Charlie. Well done. Keep up the good work in the classroom. But I don't know if it's realistic to expect Sark to change kickers right now. I would love for there to be an open competition at practice right now. And hey, maybe Bert Auburn wins that, right? Maybe in practice he's better than the other three guys. So he's the guy that Sark has to rely on when it comes to making a big kick. But this is a meritocracy. And we've seen guys get quote unquote punished, aka lose playing time if they've struggled this season, right? Jaden Blue, fumbling issues. He missed some time because of those fumbling issues. Quinn Ewers got benched in the first game against Georgia because he was having a terrible night. You could go across the board, offense and defense. If guys are struggling, usually they get replaced. That hasn't been the case for Bert Auburn, who is clearly struggling right now. So once again, because we're 15 games in and it hasn't happened to this point, I don't know if it's going to happen. Here's what Texas probably has to do to mitigate the field goal problem. Just got to go for it. Once again, you can't say take the points when your kicker's not giving you the points. If Texas gets beyond the opposing 40-yard line, you might have to go for it on just about every single fourth down. Now, if it's like 4th and 15 plus, you hope and pray that Bert Auburn's going to make you one. But if it's, not just 4th and 1 or 4th and 2, I'm talking like 4th 5, 4th and 6, 4th and 7. If you've got that, even though the analytics or the binders, sorry to bring that one up, if old school logic tells you to kick it here, I don't know if you can listen to that because I don't know if you've got a kicker who can be repaired right now. I think Bert Auburn is beyond repair. I think he's broken right now. Could he figure it out in the offseason? Sure. Because once again, he's had 2 very good seasons in Austin. But this year, and the little pep talk Sark gave right before that kick at the end of regulation, that didn't work. So I think you got to go for it on more fourth downs because you're going to need touchdowns against this Ohio State team the way that they've been playing since the CFP has started. And please, Jeff Banks and Texas, stop getting burned on fake punts. Please. Twice in 3 games, in huge games, too. One of them a run, one of them a pass. Like, leave your safe formation out there. Hell, leave your defense out there. Just put Silas Bolden and 10 defensive players on the field on punt return. So you stop getting burned by these. Like, expect the unexpected, okay? Expect the unexpected. This is the playoff. Teams are competing for a national championship here. They're going to pull out all the stops to try to win. And oh, by the way, I don't know if Ohio State's run a fake punt all season long, but they're looking at film. They're looking at what Georgia did. They're looking at what Arizona State just did, and they're saying, all right, maybe there's something we can do here. Maybe we can attack this punt return defense because Texas clearly ain't ready for any fakes right now. So maybe leave the safe team out there or leave the defense out there, whatever. Once again, y'all don't need me to tell you this. When you're playing games at this time of the year, the third facet, the third phase can cost you a national championship. It cost Texas a conference championship. It nearly cost the Longhorns the opportunity to keep competing for a national championship. They've got to find a way to do something better on special teams. Can this issue be fixed completely? No. At this point, probably not. But can you do some things to ensure that it's not the massive liability that it's been way too often this year, especially down the stretch this year? I think so. I've got faith in Jeff Banks. Once again, his track record is very good. They'll hopefully find a way to do something. If they don't, Friday could be the end of the Texas Longhorn football season. What say you? What should Texas do? Should they make a move at kicker? Should Jeff Banks donate half of his salary this year to the Texas One Fund so Texas can get better special teams players this year? I know how some of y'all feel about what the Longhorns need to do in the offseason, but what can they do right now? I want to hear from you in the comments below. Appreciate y'all's continued support. Thank y'all for watching. Don't forget, like this video and subscribe to this channel. And tell your friends and enemies about what we have going on at the BK Show. This is your one stop shop for all things Texas Longhorns content on YouTube, not just football. We'll get into some basketball, baseball, volleyball, everything here on this channel. Appreciate the continued love and supports. And remember, when you watch the BK Show, you rule. See y'all soon. Hook 'em.